As you settle into your bed tonight, the world grows quiet. The hum of day fades into the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. And somewhere in that calm, between waking and dreaming, an ocean begins to rise. A vast sea stretches before your mind's eye, still, endless, shimmering under starlight. It whispers a single word, Atlantis. They say it was a city of gods and men, radiant, wise, and full of wonder. They say it fell in one night, swallowed by the sea. But what if Atlantis never truly vanished? What if it still lives, deep in the memory of humanity? Let us drift together into the waters of time. And remember, our story begins in ancient Greece, nearly 2,400 years ago. A philosopher named Plato sat beneath an olive tree, gazing at the horizon. In his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, he wrote of a place beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. There, he said, once stood a mighty island, greater than Libya and Asia combined. A land where kings ruled wisely, where temples of gold touched the sky, and where peace reigned for 1,000 years. He called it Atlantis. Imagine a city of rings, vast circles of land and sea, connected by gleaming bridges. White, red, and black stones formed its walls. Golden statues shimmered beneath the sun. At its heart stood a great temple, dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea. Here, the air was filled with music, and the people spoke softly, their voices echoing through marble halls. They lived in harmony with nature and the divine, until one night the balance shifted. Plato wrote that the Atlanteans grew proud, their hearts heavy with ambition. They sought to conquer the world beyond their shining shores. But the gods, watching from Olympus, saw the decay within their souls. Then came the night of thunder. The earth trembled, the sea rose, and in a single dawn Atlantis was gone. Close your eyes. Feel the slow rhythm of the tide. Beneath the deep blue waters, where sunlight fades into silence, a forgotten world sleeps. Marble columns lie broken and coral-covered. Statues gaze upward through the murk, their faces calm, eternal. Fish glide through archways that once led to palaces. And in that stillness, memory lingers. For centuries, travelers have searched for this sunken empire. In the sands of Egypt, on the coasts of Spain, in the Caribbean and beyond, whispers of Atlantis appear. Every ruin beneath the waves becomes a possibility, a question without an answer. Yet, perhaps Atlantis was never a place, but an echo, a story humanity tells itself to remember what it once was. Atlantis represents more than a city. It is a mirror, reflecting our longing for wisdom, for balance, for paradise lost. It is the memory of what humanity could be before pride, before the fall. Even now, in our age of steel and glass, we dream of that harmony again. Perhaps Atlantis is not under the ocean, but sleeping in our collective soul. Many have claimed that ancient records of Atlantis exist, tablets, crystals, or secret archives guarded by priesthoods. From Egypt's Hall of Thoth to the temples of the Maya, legends tell of visitors from across the sea, bearers of knowledge who survived the flood. Could these be the last Atlanteans? Or merely the shadows of a story retold across ages? Nearly every ancient culture speaks of a great flood. The epic of Gilgamesh, the story of Noah, the sinking of Dvarka in India. Different lands, different gods. But one memory, a world cleansed by water, a civilization reborn, and always the whisper of something lost. Perhaps Atlantis was not one city, but the spirit of all ancient worlds, those that rose, flourished, and fell. Perhaps it was the dream of humanity before time began, an echo of perfection beneath the waves. As you drift deeper into sleep, imagine the quiet city below, glowing softly in the dark ocean. Its towers are your thoughts. Its light, your dreams. And somewhere in that eternal calm, Atlantis breathes once more. As centuries passed, scholars debated whether Plato's story was truth or allegory. Some said he spoke of a real empire destroyed by cataclysm. Others believed he was describing the fall of moral virtue, a warning, not a memory. But deep beneath philosophy lies something older than logic, the human longing for what was lost. Every generation, from mystics to explorers, looked to the sea and wondered, what sleeps below? You can almost hear their whispers echoing through time, soft, uncertain, but filled with hope. In the age of discovery, sailors claimed to have seen strange ruins beneath the waves. Off the coasts of Spain, Morocco, and the Azores, they spoke of walls, streets, and columns under clear water. Some drew maps, others kept silent, fearing ridicule. Yet the dream of Atlantis endured. It guided expeditions and inspired poets, because deep down, even skeptics long for magic. Tonight, as you listen, imagine yourself aboard one of those ships. Lantern light flickering, waves gliding quietly against the hull. The captain looks out to sea and murmurs, perhaps it was here. Many believe Atlantis once stood where the Azores Islands rise today, a chain of peaks, the last tips of a drowned continent. Underwater formations nearby resemble ancient roads and terraces. Geologists debate whether these are natural or crafted by human hands. But to dreamers, they are the edges of a lost paradise, the last breath of a forgotten world. Beneath the waves, silence holds its secrets tightly, but never forever. Plato's tale, he said, came from Solon, the wise Athenian lawgiver. And Solon, in turn, heard it from Egyptian priests in the city of Sais, who spoke of a great empire that existed 9,000 years before their time. If that were true, Atlantis would predate even the pyramids. Some suggest that Egypt itself was a surviving colony. Its wisdom, its architecture, its reverence for cosmic order, all echoes of Atlantean knowledge carried through the flood. Perhaps the Nile and the Atlantic once shared a story. Close your eyes. Let the sound of waves fill your mind. Before recorded history, long before the first kings carved their names in stone, humanity was already dreaming. Across deserts now dry, there were green plains. Across frozen lands, there were forests. And across oceans, there were cities that time forgot. We do not know their names, but maybe one of them was Atlantis. Around 11,600 years ago, scientists speak of a sudden climate event, a flood of melting ice, earthquakes, and rising seas. Entire coastlines disappeared. Animals vanished. Humanity began anew. Could this have been the same event Plato described? A disaster that reshaped the world and buried a civilization beneath the waves? The ocean remembers, even when we do not. Some legends claim Atlantis used crystals, not as decoration, but as sources of energy. They captured sunlight, moonlight, even the Earth's resonance. High towers glowed at night, drawing power from the stars. Temples hummed with silent vibration, filling the air with calm. Whether myth or memory, these stories remind us that knowledge and harmony once walked hand in hand. Technology, when married to spirit, creates wonder, not chaos. Imagine the sounds of Atlantis, soft flutes by the sea, chimes swaying in the wind, waves gently washing marble stairs. Even now, perhaps those frequencies still drift through the ocean's heart, a melody only whales can hear. When you sleep, maybe your dreams translate that music. Maybe every calm thought is an echo of that harmony. Across the world, stories of flood survivors appear. Teachers, sages, and builders. They arrive after catastrophe, bringing law, agriculture, astronomy, and architecture. In Central America, they were called the Shining Ones. In Egypt, the followers of Horus. In Mesopotamia, the Apkallu. Always they come from across the sea. Always they remember something humanity has forgotten. Perhaps they were the keepers of Atlantis. Civilizations rise and fall. Empires fade into sand and ash. But dreams endure. Atlantis may be gone, but it still breathes in every act of creation, every search for knowledge, every longing for peace. As you drift deeper into sleep, feel that ancient calm settle over you. You are floating above the memory of humanity itself, where myth, history, and dream become one. And in that stillness, the light of Atlantis glows faintly once more. Beneath the world's oceans lie mountains higher than the Alps, valleys deeper than the Grand Canyon. Between those silent peaks, sonar sometimes catches faint patterns. Right angles, symmetrical lines, shapes too precise to be chance. Some say these are tricks of geology. Others whisper, they are the bones of Atlantis itself. The ocean hides its truths in silence. But if you listen deeply enough, even silence has a rhythm. Plato spoke of a gateway, beyond which lay the island of Atlantis, a place called the Pillars of Heracles. Today, we know it as the Strait of Gibraltar. Imagine sailing through that narrow channel under a silver sky. On one side, the mountains of Africa. On the other, the cliffs of Spain. And before you, endless ocean and mystery. It was here, they say, that sailors once crossed from the known world into legend. Whether Atlantis existed or not, the idea of it touches something timeless. Our yearning for balance, wisdom, and beauty. Atlanteans, as the stories go, lived in harmony with nature. They studied the stars not to conquer, but to understand. They built cities aligned with constellations, temples tuned to the resonance of the earth. To remember Atlantis is to remember what humanity can be when knowledge serves peace, not power. But even golden ages fade. According to the tale, pride began to cloud Atlantean hearts. They turned from gratitude to greed, from service to control. Their crystals dimmed, their temples fell silent, and the sea, always patient, began to rise. Plato wrote, "In a single day and night of misfortune, it disappeared, perhaps not as punishment, but as a reminder that nothing built on arrogance can endure forever." After Atlantis sank, survivors, it is said, scattered across the world. They carried fragments of their knowledge, sacred geometry, astronomy, architecture. Some settled in Egypt, others in the Andes, and some beyond the oceans we have yet to fully know. And so, the same symbols, spirals, suns, serpents, appear in cultures thousands of miles apart. Perhaps not coincidence, but continuity. Archaeologists have uncovered megaliths older than history itself. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, Nan Madol in Micronesia, and Yonaguni beneath the seas of Japan. Who built them? How did they shape and move such stones before the age of tools? No one knows, but some see these as fingerprints, not of gods, but of an ancient civilization that once mastered harmony and design, and was lost. Even now, strange lights have been seen below. Unexplained sounds echo in the ocean's depths. Divers report glimpses of doorways carved in stone, fish gliding through arches once made for men. Perhaps the city still dreams, its towers silent, its crystals pulsing faintly, guarded by coral and time. The sea does not destroy, preserves, in a way only eternity can. In every wave there is memory. The tides that lap against the shore tonight once brushed the streets of lost cities. Every drop of water has seen the rise and fall of worlds. As you breathe slowly, you are breathing the same air, the same rhythm that once filled the temples of Atlantis. The ocean sleeps, but it dreams in you. Modern science tells us that water holds structure, resonance, and pattern, perhaps memory too. If so, the sea remembers every song, every prayer, every tear, and deep beneath it, where sunlight fades, the dream of Atlantis still flows through the current, a pulse of calm wisdom, waiting to be heard again. Everything that falls will rise again, not as it was, but as it is meant to be. Atlantis may have fallen, but its light continues, in our art, our curiosity, our love for the unknown. Every discovery, every moment of wonder, is a fragment of that sunken memory resurfacing. And as you drift toward sleep, remember, Atlantis is not only a place. It is a state of harmony within us all. Centuries passed, empires rose and fell, yet the whisper of Atlantis never faded. In the Renaissance, explorers searched for new worlds, but some sought an older one, a world already lost beneath the waves. Maps from that era, like the Piri Reis map, showed Antarctic coastlines beneath ice, as if copied from a memory older than time. Every voyage into the unknown was perhaps a voyage back toward Atlantis. In the quiet halls of universities, a few curious minds refused to let go of the legend. They compared myths, measured ruins, and found echoes of the same story from Egypt to Mesoamerica. A mighty land, drowned in one terrible night. Was it coincidence or remembrance? Each scholar, in their way, became a diver, not into water, but into time. In the early 20th century, mystics began to speak again of Atlantean knowledge. Crystals that could store energy, vibrations that could heal, temples that harnessed sound instead of war. Some dismissed these as fantasy, but to dreamers, Atlantis was never just a place. It was a frequency, a reminder that peace and power can coexist, if only the heart remains pure. Modern technology began to pierce the ocean's mysteries. Sonar scans revealed vast shapes beneath the Atlantic. Rectangles, circles, perfect lines stretching miles. Divers found carved stones near Bimini in the Bahamas. The locals called it the road to Atlantis. Perhaps, after all, the sea had begun to remember with us. There are sounds beneath the sea, low hums, rhythmic pulses, strange echoes recorded by deep-sea microphones. Scientists call them anomalies. Poets call them memories. Could the ocean itself be speaking? Its voice slow, ancient, patient, telling us what we once were and what we could be again. From Greece to India, from the Mayans to the Celts, each spoke of a golden land that fell beneath the waves. Sometimes it was called Kumari Kandam, sometimes Aztlan, sometimes Avalon. Different names, same memory, different languages, same longing. Atlantis is humanity's mirror, a reflection of both our brilliance and our blindness. Close your eyes. Imagine drifting upon a calm blue sea. Above, the stars shimmer like ancient lamps. Below, a forgotten city sleeps in silver silence. Every breath you take ripples across time, touching the same waters that once kissed the marble steps of Atlantis. The ocean, like sleep, does not erase. It remembers softly. Legends say that when the world forgets kindness, the sea will rise to remind it. But when humanity learns again to live in balance, Atlantis will rise, not from the water, but from within us. Every act of compassion, every moment of wonder, is a piece of that city being rebuilt. Dreamers across the world describe the same vision. A city of light beneath calm waves, a sound like distant bells, a warmth that feels like home. Maybe we have always been Atlanteans, forgetting, remembering, and learning once again that wisdom is love made visible. The sea stretches endlessly. It holds the memory of creation itself. Atlantis was not lost. It sleeps in every tide, every heart, every dream that reaches for the light. As you drift into sleep, let the waves carry you home, not to a city of stone, but to a place of peace, the Atlantis within. There is a light that never drowns. It moves with the tides, soft, unseen, but alive. Some say it is the soul of Atlantis, the memory of harmony, still whispering beneath the surface. Every breaking wave is a heartbeat. Every shimmer of light upon the water is the past trying to be remembered. And if you listen closely enough, you can hear the echo of 1,000 suns beneath the sea. In the deep silence of sleep, our minds return to the ancient. Dreams become maps, whispers become stories, and every heartbeat carries the pulse of a forgotten world. You do not travel to Atlantis, you remember it, because every soul once knew peace. And in dreams, we remember who we are. Atlantis was not destroyed, transformed. Its wisdom scattered like seeds into every age, every culture, every dreamer who dared to imagine better worlds. We are the architects now. Every bridge we build, every act of kindness, every invention that heals instead of harms, is a stone in the new Atlantis. The Atlanteans believed that emotion was energy. Love could power their cities. Gratitude could illuminate crystal towers. Perhaps the legend was never about technology, but about understanding. Imagine a world where compassion fuels progress. That was their secret, and it can be ours again. The earth sleeps too. Its mountains breathe. Its oceans dream. Its winds sing in soft remembrance. The fall of Atlantis was not a punishment. It was a pause, a deep inhale of time. Before the next awakening, we come from water. Before we spoke, we floated. Before we built, we drifted. The ocean is our oldest home. It calls us not to conquer, but to return, to remember the rhythm of calm, the music of stillness, the beauty of simply being. When we look at the stars, we see ancient reflections of ourselves. Atlantis looked up too. They wondered if their ancestors had fallen from the sky. Now we, their descendants, look upward and downward, finding the same truth, that wonder is eternal. As long as we keep asking, the light will keep guiding. Consciousness moves like the sea. It ebbs, it flows, sometimes calm, sometimes storm, but always it returns to balance. When we quiet the noise of our world, we begin to hear the real one, the one that has always been whispering, beneath sound, beneath sleep, beneath the surface of the mind. Perhaps Atlantis never sank. Perhaps it simply changed form, from stone and sea, into heart and thought. Each person who chooses peace over pride, truth over fear, light over darkness, raises Atlantis again, not as a city, but as a consciousness, an ocean of unity flowing through all time. Now the waves grow quiet, the stars begin to fade, and the sea hums its final lullaby. Atlantis is not lost. It sleeps within your breath, within your heart, within the space between waking and dreaming. Let go. Drift deeper. The ocean remembers you, and tonight, you remember it too. Sleep well, traveler of time. Welcome home to the sunken memory of humanity.